Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's TT. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe. I do webtoon related content. My last couple of videos, I was recapping seasons 1 to 3 of Let's Play Webtoon. So if that's something that you're interested in, make sure to subscribe, and let's get right into the video. A couple of weeks ago, a now deleted Reddit post went viral exposing the alleged predatory nature of Webtoon original contracts. I'm just gonna outline a couple of the parts that really stood out to me. For disclaimer, there was no hard evidence given. There was no picture of a contract, and the identity of the Redditor is unknown, so take that with a huge grain of salt. This is very much alleged. Everything's alleged. The first claim was Webtoon would allegedly have the ability to buy 100% of a creator's intellectual property. The second claim was Webtoon would allegedly own a creator's print publishing rights. The point of contention here being that they should only have digital publishing rights, not print publishing rights. Allegedly, there was a clause in there that said Webtoon would automatically buy print publishing rights for $2,000, which is apparently a ripoff according to the original poster, when you consider that apparently print publishing rights can sell anywhere from 5 to 6 figures. So 2,000 is way below, according to the original poster. The third claim was that Webtoon will allegedly own merchandising rights and that creators wouldn't be able to sell merchandise of their own comics. The fourth claim was that in addition to being their digital publisher, Webtoon would allegedly become a creator's agent for print publishing and multimedia deals. The point of contention here being that Webtoon could in theory make decisions in Webtoon's own best interest, because they're also the publisher as well as being the agent. The last thing that I found interesting was that allegedly some of these things that the Redditor is claiming are recent developments. The arguments being that Webtoon contracts have over time become more predatory, allegedly. So Webtoon actually commented back to the beats, and this is what they had to say. We're aware of a post online that misrepresents our terms and how we work with creators. At Webtoon, we've created multiple programs that allow creators to select the path to monetization that works best for them and their series. Our platform monetization models prioritize creators, ensuring they can build an audience for their webcomic and make money. Our terms enable creators to maintain ownership of the webcomic while bringing their story to life in a growing number of monetizable formats. They also had a couple of rebuttals to the Reddit post original claims. Their first rebuttal was Webtoon contracts do not allow purchase of 100% of IP and that creators maintain ownership of underlying IP. It definitely would be great to know how much that is on percentages. If creators maintain underlying IP, how much is that in percentages? Their second rebuttal was Webtoon does have the option to acquire the print publishing rights for a limited amount of time, and if they do, the creator will be compensated according to the industry standard. I have no clue what that industry standard is, whether it is that 2K or whether it is 5 to 6K. I have no clue. So it definitely would have been nice to know what that standard is. That kind of thing, maybe it differs from contract to contract, author to author, Webtoon to Webtoon, based on how much worth they can see that they can mine and how much money they see that they can mine from a creator's Webtoon. I also would like to know what a limited time is, because the point that they said is that Webtoon does have the option to acquire the print publishing rights for a limited amount of time. What is that limited amount of time? How many years is that? How many months is that? I would like to know. As for merchandising, Webtoon does own exclusive license to develop and sell creators' merchandise. There's nothing in that statement about whether a creator can sell merchandise on their own in their comics likeness. The phrase they use is they have an exclusive license on behalf of the creator, and there's no mention of how long that exclusive license is for. The last point there was that they see themselves more as a producer than an agent. Similar to Rebuttal 2, there is an option for Webtoon to acquire multimedia rights at a rate that falls in line with industry standards. The creator maintains majority of rights fees. Again, we don't know how long they have the rights for and what is that percentage of rights, because what is majority? What is that for a creator if they maintain majority of their rights? Like, what is that? Because 90% can be majority, but so can 60%, and 55% can be majority. Like, what does that mean? What is that scale? Also, apparently, whether Webtoon can acquire a portion of IP is negotiable, and a creator can opt out of this. There are still some unanswered questions, some things I'd like to know, but until we see an actual contract, it's not something that we'll ever be able to know the details of for sure. I'm not sure of anything. I cannot claim anything. I don't know if creators sign NDAs to not expose the details of their contracts, but maybe it's in their best interest not to divulge their contracts. Now, this whole situation of Webtoon authors being disgruntled with the treatment they receive at the hands of webtoon. It's not new, it's not a new thing at all, and in fact it seems like every couple of months it's a new story. I made a video about creators' frustrations with lack of transparency and access to their performance data, there not being a clear structure of who to go to for help, being out of the loop of information pertinent to them, lack of communication, and overall lack of support. All of that was detailed in an open letter to Webtoon by the creators of, or I think it was one of the creators of the Webtoon Lovebot. So I've actually covered that in my Webtoon Has a Problem video, so you can go and watch that. And I think a more recent popular example is Mongi from Let's Play. In a letter to her fans, detailed the reason she's not coming back to Webtoon. I talked about it in my every Let's Play shenanigan video. She talked about issues with support, age gating, lack of marketing. I think what's interesting is that Webtoon maintains digital exclusivity for 3 years after the completion of a Webtoon. And what do you know? Season 4 of Let's Play is coming back on another platform. We don't know the platform yet, but that's coming back in fall 2025. That's 3 years after she cut ties with Webtoon. Now, I don't know how many amounts of years digital exclusivity, I don't know what the standard is, but I would assume that 3 years is not it's not a short amount of time. So I don't know. I feel like after the peak of your Webtoon, now trying to like come back 3 years later after your audience probably has aged out or they've now have other things. I don't know. I just think that that's very interesting. There were other creators as well who chimed in during this entire thing. While we're not sure exactly of the details of the original poster's contracts and anyone's contracts in general, you can definitely tell there's some dissatisfaction brewing. The viral one was from the creator of the Boyfriend webcomic, who they said, my contract is not even this bad and I'm already ready to K-word myself. They've been a source of my emotional strife for years. They've milked me for money and tossed me away once I outlived my usefulness. I think my mistake is me thinking that I don't mind getting a lower pay if it means that I'll be getting opportunities and support. But after signing away my rights, they just sit on it and do jack and never listen to me. Working on the comic doesn't make me feel burned out. Even hate comments don't make me feel burned out. It's dealing with company effery that makes me lose all hope because they're supposed to be on my side, but they are either unsupportive or even flat out block my efforts to grow with the comic. Did you know that they stopped translating my Spanish version and refused to continue it at some point? I even offered to pay for translations myself, and even then, there was some pushback when I brought it up. Did you know they stopped acknowledging me publicly around 1 to 2 years ago? I made a return trailer for the comic and they refused to acknowledge it because you used the wrong logo, didn't follow guidelines. There were no guidelines, by the way, and there are changes that they asked me to do 1 day before the planned release after I already postponed it. I'll talk about the ads another time. Anyway, bottom line is do not sign with Webtoon. And if you're already there, don't sign any additional contracts like IP acquisition and merch contracts. It's all BS and empty promises. Then someone asked, what happens if you just broke contracts or like quit? They responded, boyfriend ends and I don't touch it anymore. They own a percentage of my IP. Someone also asked, do you get 100% of your merch and physical copy sales? Do you also have to give them part of what you make from the NSFW comics, or they own part of the IP? What's the best way we can support you without giving money to Webtoon? They replied, physical copy, no. Merch from my personal online store and Patreon, yes. They don't take those. God forbid if they took those, I'm suing. But yeah, so that was what they said, and that was the most viral like response to that original post by that anonymous redditor. All this, it definitely makes me wonder, does Webtoon even like its authors? Like, I'm thinking about the creator of Boyfriends. Like, that was a Webtoon darling. You could not go anywhere a couple years ago without seeing some ad from Boyfriends. Like, it was everywhere. They put this voice over, like it was something. Even Mongi from Let's Play, that was the Webtoon darling. Like, now as I'm thinking about it, I would love to do a video. Guys, if you can put them in the comments, let me know Webtoon darlings of past years and where they are now. Like, I would love to do a video about that. Like, if you're wondering like what happens to this Webtoon darling and where they are and where are they now, like, let me know. But all this in general, it does make me wonder, does Webtoon even like its authors? In my opinion, the short answer is no. Just because in general, in a capitalistic like world, you're really only as good as how much money you can make for the company. And Webtoon is making a lot of it at the expense of a lot of people, allegedly, because a lot of people are feeling very bad about what's going on. But yeah, so that's it for the video. Let me know if you have any thoughts, any opinions about it. I would love to know. And yeah, bye.